let's get right to it. So in order to learn our first chords, first thing we're going to do is number the string so we always know what we're talking about. So the string closest to the floor is 1, then 2, then 3, and the string closest to your head is number 4. Now I've got this ukulele strung with a high G on the 4th string. You might have one strung with a low G on the 4th string. For what we're doing today, doesn't matter a bit. Okay? These vertical lines are the frets. They tell us where our fingers go, and we're mostly going to follow a 1 finger per fret rule. So first fret, first finger, second fret, second finger, and so on. This is not carved in stone. It's just a general principle, and sometimes you break it, and that's okay. All right, our first chord is going to be C major. That's going to be on the 1st string, and it's going to be on the 3rd fret, so I'm going to use my 3rd finger. Now, some mistakes you can make. Don't put your finger right on top of the fret, because that sounds bad. So we want to be as close to the fret as we can get without actually touching it. Now, in addition to that, make sure you're not using the flat of your finger like this. Make sure you're using the tip of your finger. And on top of that, a lot of people press way too hard. What you want to do is use the minimum amount of pressure that gives you good sound. So what I'm going to do is put my finger on the string, no pressure, just touching the string so the string is dead. Gradually increase the pressure till I get a good sound. And you'd be surprised at how little pressure that takes. Now, I do have my thumb on the back of the neck like this to help balance out the pressure from the fingers, but it's still very light pressure. Now, when I strum, I'm going to use either my 1st finger or my first 2, and I'm using the fingernails. And I'm going to strum right here at the base of the fretboard, not over the sound hole like you might expect, because you get the best sound right here. So there you go. There's C major, your first ukulele chord. Nice. Can't do much with one chord, so let's learn another one. This one is A minor. So we're going to be on the 4th string, 2nd fret, so 2nd finger. We're going to do the same thing, just lay it on the string, gradually increase the pressure, and that's all that you need. Now, notice that my fingers, let me see here, there we go, are kind of nicely curled, and I'm using that tip of the finger. If I were to let my finger drop down a little bit, and I strum each string, see my finger, because it's kind of down a little, it's actually touching the 3rd string and deadening it. This is why when I learn a new chord, I like to play 1 string at a time to make sure they're all sounding good. Notice that my wrist is fairly flat, right? I'm not doing this and getting it bent outward. That's just asking for trouble. Okay? So, now that we know 2 chords, we need to practice changing from one chord to the next. It'd be a good idea to stop the video, practice that change. But first, let me introduce you to your new best and most annoying friend at the same time, the metronome. Or you can just download a metronome app for your phone. I've got this one set at 60 beats a minute, so I would practice these chords like this. And so on. It's important to use the metronome because right from the start we want to have good timing, and we don't want to have a break in the sound when we change chords. Now, there's nothing magic about 60 beats per minute. If that's too fast for you, do 50 beats, 40 beats, 30 beats. It doesn't matter. We're not after velocity. We're after good sound. And, you know, using the metronome stops you from getting things like this. Right? The timing's all over the place. There's a long break when we change chords. Those are the things we don't want. So by all means, use a metronome, but don't try to go too fast, especially in the beginning. If you're making a lot of mistakes or if you can't keep up, you're going too fast. Slow it down. If you keep practicing fast and making a lot of mistakes, your muscle memory is going to learn those mistakes. We don't want that. Velocity is not the point right now. Good sound is the point. All right, so we've got C major, we've got A minor. Let's learn a new chord. This one's going to be F major. Now, if I'm playing A minor, I've already got my finger here, ready to go. All I'm going to do is add another finger. I'm going to put my first finger here, second string, first fret. So this one's already down. I just need to lay this finger down. Okay? Now, one of the things that can happen, sometimes people are playing the A minor. When they go to play the F major, they lift this finger up and have to put it down again. Don't do that. Right? It's already where it needs to be. We want to leave it anchored. Right? So A minor to F. You probably know what I'm going to say now. Stop the video. Practice the change. That's a pretty easy change, you know, but still, practice it. So let's add a harder chord. We're going to go from F major to G7. Major, minor, 7. What is all this stuff? That's a little music theory, and that's for another video. We're not going to worry about any music theory right now. We're just going to play. Okay? Now, so I'm playing my F major chord. I'm going to take this finger and move it just down to the third string, and I'm going to lay this finger down on the first string, right? So I've got second fret, first fret, second fret, then my fourth string is open, no fret, okay? Now, I described it in steps, right? Put this finger here and put this finger down. You don't actually want to do it in steps like that because it's going to sound bad and it's going to take too long to change chords. So when you're playing the F and you go to the G7, you need to move both fingers at the same time, which can be tricky. So you should know what I'm going to say now. Stop the video, get out your metronome, practice the changes. Now, don't start with the metronome immediately. Just without worrying about the timing, practice doing the changes like this, one string at a time. And when you can do that, turn on your metronome at a tempo that's comfortable for you and just go back and forth with the changes. Now, we've actually got all 4 of the chords that we're going to learn today. So guess what I'm going to say now? Practice doing the whole circle of chords with your metronome at a comfortable tempo for you, whatever that tempo happens to be. And go around and around and around several times till it's nice and smooth and even. Now, the reason that we went with these 4 chords, by the way, is because there are a lot of what you could call 4-chord songs. They use this same chord pattern. Now, I've given you the chord pattern in the key of C, but you're going to find the same chord pattern in every key. So down below in the description, I'm going to have a link to a website that's going to show you a whole bunch of songs you can play with just this chord pattern. But I need to teach you something first. So we're going to assign numbers to the chords, and they may not be the numbers you're expecting. So our C chord is going to be chord 1. Our F chord is going to be chord 4. G is 5. A minor is 6. Got that? C is 1. F, G, A, 4, 5, and 6. Why am I telling you this? Because the website that I'm sending you to go check out these 4-chord songs is going to list the chord pattern using those numbers. Now, here's the thing, right? You've learned them in this order. It's a good place to start, but it's not a good place to stop, because you need to be able to go in whatever order is needed. You need to be able to go from F to C, or from A minor directly to G7, right? So that's more practice. But learning with these songs will help you get those changes down. And again, right now we're just doing downstrokes. Future videos, we're going to learn some more chords. We're going to learn strum patterns to make things more interesting. We're going to learn some music theory. Don't be worried. It's not that difficult. We're just going to learn what will help us out on the ukulele. All right? So get your ukulele, play, and then play some more. And I will see you next time.